possible, you can share your screen.
Okay. So since we only have an hour, and usually when I do this talk, it takes longer, I am going to be brief about it, but I usually include an introduction. But you know what? Since you guys already know me, I don't necessarily need to be long about it. I will I will give you the Cliff's Notes version. Mary already knows me. Mary Goolsby. She is a momager. And if you don't know that term, basically it's a term for somebody who is, well, she's a mother. She's the mother of a recording artist, and she is also his manager. So she helps him to navigate the music industry. So, and she's a big supporter and follower of mine. And thank you, Mary, for for coming on. Um, okay, so basically, I am Simone Henry. I have been helping independent recording artists for for a while now, since like 2003 is when I actually had the idea for my digital download store. And I got that idea from my sister, who was doing her last year of college in Spain. And she emailed me one day. She wanted to she was doing Spanish, finishing her degree in Spanish, but she's also got a music degree. And while she's there, she becomes known. She's an outgoing personality. She becomes known as a singer and everything. And so people asked her to sing for this church program. And the song she wanted to sing, they didn't have the music for it. So she emailed me and said, "Hey, can you find this song and send it to me?" They didn't have the music. She wants them to get the chords and everything. And I scoured the internet, could not find a good version of the song. And I found this, old MIDI version, which is not great. It's not great production value, not great sound value, but I sent her what I found. And after that incident, it just got me started thinking, we need a place on the internet where you can get good quality Christian music of all different genres, all different styles, major and independent. And so I decided to create it. So of course, at the time, I knew nothing about business. I knew nothing about marketing. I knew nothing. I was a bit shy, and tended to be the person that stays in the background. And that's how I wanted to run my business. I wanted to stay in the background. So, and that's kind of what I did. And so the Christian Jukebox did not really go anywhere because I didn't really promote it. I was expecting the artist to promote it. And so I ended up shutting it down, and I ended up shutting down my radio station because I didn't really promote that either, even though the station was really, really good. And lots of people said it was a great station. But I didn't promote that very well either. Um, so I ended up shutting that down too. But after I did, I still was, hanging out with artists, and I still wanted to do something to help. So I set about learning business myself, because what I saw with artists was that these musicians were very good with their music, and they were, but they just didn't have much business sense, you would say. And so I thought they they need help. And so let me figure out how to do it. And in the course of trying to help them, I basically embarked on a journey of helping myself. And since that time, I have and since creating Eshe Music, I have stepped out front and learned how to put myself out there, put my offers out there, and show people, give people a little bit of insight into who I am and into my life. And that has actually brought me some more um, customers, more followers, bigger audience. And and that's kind of where I am today. I grew up in the church. I started singing at around 7 years old, and that kind of fostered my love of music. My mother is from Trinidad and Tobago. We grew up listening to all sorts of music in the house, and that just kind of fostered that in me. And so that's kind of where my love of music started. Um, and so that's kind of where I am today. So what I'm going to share with you now is my presentation for having a customer journey, bringing more customers into your life and your world. And let me know if you can see this. What I've learned over the years is that the stuff that I teach artists is fairly universal for different types of businesses. So most of us here are coaches of some sort or another. I know there's one person in the group who is more of a brick and mortar business, but even with that, having this sort of process laid out can help. So let me know if you can see this. Good, thumbs up. Okay, fantastic. So can I ask if everybody can mute themselves, and so we can have a clean recording, and we'll continue. All right, so basically the customer journey is a process of introducing yourself to new people and then bringing them into your world and building up the value that they bring to your business and also the value that you bring to them. Okay, let's on the right thing. Okay, there we go. All right, so it's basically I broke it down into 4 main phases. You've all heard of KLT, right? So I broke that down into 4 major phases. And we all know that KLT stands for know, like, and trust. So in this getting to know you phase, go back. I was hitting buttons and it was taking a few minutes to change, and now it's going. There we go. Thank you. Stay here. All right. So in the getting to know you phase, we've got some steps in here where you are introducing yourself to people who don't already know you. They may be people who use the types of products and services that you're interested in providing, but they may not know you. And so when you are introducing yourself, you are providing content that is different than you would provide to people who are already familiar with you. So remember, I know Jenny and Dawn would remember this. Remember, our coach had this post where we would say, let me reintroduce myself, right? That is the kind of post that you would post to people who are not as familiar with you as they could be. So, and so you are sharing an introduction, and you are giving them a little piece of who you are, and before you make an offer to them, right? So, and then you can do it organically or with paid advertising, like in social media ads. So what I have on here are examples of 2 different ads by the same person. His name is Rick Barker. He is very good with social media ads. He believes in them very strongly. The ad on the left is his introductory ad to people who don't really know him. And he's basically giving them, it's a short video where he gives a quick tutorial for them to get to know kind of what he's all about before he makes an offer to them. And then the ad on the right is for people who know him a little bit more already. They know a little bit about his backstory, and you know, and so he's trying to get them to
Hi everybody. Has Simone frozen?
Yeah, she has for me. I thought it was me.
Okay. Well, hopefully she's still here and she'll come back. She's still in the room. I'm going to send her a message and tell her to maybe go to audio.
She's not here, is she, Dawn? No, she's not here.
She's disappeared, has she? Okay. So hopefully she'll come back. Well, that's interesting about the know, like, and trust, isn't it? That I didn't know that when it said in her message that was promoting this, she said KLT, and I didn't actually know what that stood for. Did other people know what that stood for?
I knew know, like, and trust. I call it the know, like, trust factor. But
Yeah.
when she said it, I was like, okay.
Yeah, similar. I didn't know what the acronym was, because acronyms are different things to different people.
Yeah.
But as she said, know, like, and trust. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That was the same. So it's really, really interesting. And also, Simone and I, and also Jenny, were in a mastermind group together, and it was all based on organic promoting of yourself. Would you agree, Jenny? And so interesting to talk about paid ads as a way to do that as well. And I don't know if people have experimented with ads. It's something I am thinking about actually, as a way to raise awareness, because I think when we talked about social media in our last session, there is something around how you do that organically and also get into the practice of doing it, but there's also something about how you can accelerate that process as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was speaking to a friend of mine who's in a different mastermind, and she grew her list very rapidly to over like 25,000 people through Facebook ads as well. I think the thing for me, I always look at like, how can I build on stuff and like do it better, more effectively. So what came up for me as she was going through that was, well, how can I leverage what I'm hearing to get different, better results? So yeah, and given that I'm not on social media for this entire month, it'll be interesting.
Is that a pledge? Well, I think something I'm going to share on the platform is, because when we talked about social media the last time we were together, I've spoken to someone who's a LinkedIn expert, and I'm going to get them to come in and talk to us. And they're very much around looking at your numbers, about measuring whether what works and what doesn't work. So what would be interesting for me to hear from you, Jenny, at the end of the month really is, did you do any other awareness, and what the comparison to being on social media as to not being on social media? Here Simone, here she comes back. Not being on social media, and what difference does that make to the business? Because Simone works with artists who want to get their records played. Well, they're not records anymore, are they? But they want to get their records played on the radio. That is their main objective. And what Simone would say, here she is, and what Simone would say is that there are other ways, and that you can find your start your customer journeys by getting them to know, like, and trust you, and then utilising the different ways. I'm talking for you, Simone. I'm not sure. So you're back. So Simone's been having some problems being chucked off the platform. I'm not sure why, but you know.
I don't know. Today is a crazy day.
What did you say?
I'm gonna share my screen again. Let's go back to my presentation. Alrighty, so we were talking about permission, right? Everybody can see it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we were talking about permission, and this is basically where you get contact information from your potential customer or your client. Basically, in we all know this as the funnel, right? And the reason why we use this type of model is because when we are networking and we are making friends and building relationships with people, we don't jump directly from introducing ourselves to let's get married, right? There are certain steps in between, right? And so we go from, in order to go from stranger to, to partner, we have to build up the relationship. And that's what we're doing here. All right, let's go to the next one. It sent me back. Okay, so, and then let's see. So the next phase is called, I'm going to keep talking until my computer decides to cooperate with me. The next phase of the process is liking you, right? That's the nurture phase. And in the nurture phase, what we do is we tell our stories and we share our knowledge, and we put out great content. Oh, this is an example of good branding. So this is an artist that I worked with. Her name is Calandra Gant, and on her social media page, it's very clear who she is and what she's all about. So I just wanted to share that as an example. I forgot this slide was in there. And then when it comes to asking for permission, what we tend to do is we ask for email addresses, and we give freebies in exchange for email addresses. What I see a lot of people do, and they put a box on their website that says, join my newsletter, put your email address here and I'll send you my newsletter. Nobody's interested in a newsletter. So unless, of course, you're a reporter and you are actually reporting the news, don't call it a newsletter, call it something else. Make it interesting, make it attractive for people to want to give you their contact information and to want to hear from you, to keep hearing from you. So that was one of the things that I was teaching Calandra. So when we're nurturing, we're getting to like each other. We're building up a relationship. This is where where your podcast comes in, your live stream shows, your radio shows. This is where you're opening yourself to your audience, and you're letting them in to see more of your world, see more of what's going on with you. And within this process, you can also be sharing offers and doing sharing offers, making offers, and making sales. It doesn't have to be all or nothing, but definitely the more you share with people, the more they get to like you and trust you. So this is Philip Carter. He's an artist. He does consistent live streams, and if you can see his schedule, he is out there just about every day of the week doing live streams. He sings hymns and he plays his piano, and it's all organic. He doesn't do any ads at all. And with just out being constant and being consistent out there doing this, he has garnered a large following. And with that following, he's also gotten lots of donations in. So he's at a point now where he doesn't necessarily need to work a job, just by being consistent and showing up for his audience all the time. That's nurturing. Okay, and so then the next phase is the trust phase. This is where your tripwire comes in, where the affirmation comes in, where you are making your first offer. And that first offer should be something low cost, something that is going to separate people in your audience. There are people who are just going to be listening to your podcast on a weekly basis and soaking up all your free stuff. But will they ever call you up and say, yes, I'd like you to coach me, or yes, I'd like to take your course and actually spend money? Some of them won't. But this tripwire is a great way to test that. So it's not just them trusting you, it's also you trusting them. Like, are you going to be a member of my audience? Let's test that theory out. Here's my initial low cost offer. And you can make this at right after, I've seen people do it right after the permission phase. When somebody puts in their email address to get onto your mailing list, for they get that free thing. Then on that thank you page, your first offer could be right there. Hey, you can say something like, thank you for signing up to my mailing list. Your free gift is on the way. While you're waiting for it, check this out. I'm going to give you a deal on my first ever course. And instead of, the $100 that I normally charge, I'm going to give it to you for only $15. And if they bite, well, now you know that this person is actually interested in what you're doing, and they're willing to put their money where their mouth is. They're willing to purchase something that you have available for them. So some people put this tripwire right after the permission. Some people wait until a few emails in, right? They sign up for your mailing list, you send them a welcome series, and maybe third or fourth email in the welcome series is where you say, hey, you got the free thing. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out my first course. Since you signed up to my mailing list, I'm willing to give you a discount. You can get it for only $15, right? So they wait until you've nurtured them a little bit more, and then you make your first initial offer. So there's multiple ways of doing that. So then as you bring them further into, now in the music industry, we call them super fans. Now they're in the super fan phase, where as you're making offers to them, as customers, they become more and more valuable to you, because they may get your tripwire offer, they take that, they like it, and they come back for more. So now they come back for higher value offers. In the music industry, you can say, your first offer may have been like a CD bundle for $15, and then your next offer can be your catalog, half the catalog, or it could be like a CD, your newest CD, and a book, so it could be something like that. And then you just kind of build them up and up your offer value list, right? So if as a musician, if you're offering CDs and that kind of thing for most of your offers, a higher value might be a private concert, or a customized song, something like that. Whereas in the coaching world, it could be, sign up for my half-hour coaching session, sign up for my then it could be a 90-minute session. It could be a half-day VIP day, a full-day VIP day. I did a full weekend with an artist once. We brought him to DC, we took him shopping to help him, to kind of help style him. We took him to the music studio to record a song. We did a photo shoot with him. We did a video shoot with him. that was like a full-on weekend VIP VIP day. And something like that is extremely valuable. I know in the coaching industry, we like to do weekend boot camps and live weekend events, that kind of thing, 2-day, 3-day events, stuff like that. That is bringing your customer further up ascending them further up your ladder of offers. But then you don't want to stop there. You also, when it comes to getting more customers and more clients, having your existing customers also refer you to their fans, to their clients, their friends, is a great way to duplicate yourself and to get other people, get them talking about you, because people listen to their friends. I decide to join somebody's network because I think it's really cool and it's been helping me out a lot. I'm going to tell my friend who is starting a business, who needs to be around people who are doing the same thing, who are uplifting and positive. I'm going to tell that person about this great network, and yeah, Dawn might be over here writing up emails and sending out marketing material and writing her posts, but she wasn't in my neighborhood the day that I told my friend, and my friend decides to join. I basically duplicated her efforts. And then when it comes to advocacy, that's where you set up a system where your clients and customers can refer strangers and be incentivized to do that. Okay, so, and that is the last phase. So we already talked about like your ascendancy of offers. So, having low ticket, medium, and high, and then your referral and reward system really is a great way to keep that customer growth happening. When it comes to organic growth, that's mostly word of mouth and your efforts without paying for ads. With the ads, I like ads because they're automated and they're working whether you're working or not. So that can kind of keep your customer journey going as well, and keep new people coming in the pipeline, basically a pipeline, and a lot of this can be automated. Any questions? Feel free to put them in the chat. And if I don't see any, my last piece of advice on this is that this is a process, and it is okay to not get it right the first time you do this, or even the second or third or fourth or 100th time you do this. It's a work in progress. So Jenny says she has a question.
Go for it, Jenny.
Sorry, I thought you wanted me to type it in. Did you see my little fingers go?
All right, so, I'm going to stop sharing so I can see your face as you're talking to me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for saving my fingers. So my question is around, I feel like I don't do this very well, like on my website and stuff like that. So I'm kind of looking at the phases of how I can do that. Do you think it's translatable onto a website so that the person gets a good experience? I know how I want them to feel and what I want them to do, but would you recommend any kind of tweaks to what you've said to take somebody through a good customer journey on a website?
The website is great for introducing and for nurturing. You can kind of have like all of your phases all on the website. But when it comes to actually moving a customer through it, it's actually easier through your email. Because
I meant that, like website and then through email.
Yeah, because like on my website, I have my courses. I actually changed my website just now. I have my courses. I've got coaching sessions. I've got like high level coaching sessions. I've got lower level coaching sessions. But usually when people buy from me, it's only after they've talked to me and we've had a conversation and they understand what it is I do, and then they feel comfortable buying, and then I can kind of guide them to the specific product that they need on my website. So a lot of people they want to talk to me first. So yeah, the website is it's easier to kind of do the introduction, the branding, and the nurturing than it is to really ascend them and get them into that super fan status.
Thank you so much.
Could I say something on that, just to add to that? What do you think about, because that's a really good idea, Jenny, thinking about how you can sort of optimize your website to encompass as much of that experience as you can. One of the things that I've noticed on some websites is that they have like a chat bot or a response bot on the website. Have you got an opinion on those, Simone? And I'm not very technical, as Simone very well knows, but do you have to literally sit there, or does it do it automatically to answer you?
Well, if it's a bot, then no, you don't have to sit there.
Okay, cool.
So the ones that I've seen are like, I think you can set up the hours that you're available. And so if somebody comes in and they're chatting, they're trying to chat with you during those hours, you'll get a notification and you can write back to them immediately. But then if they're coming in after hours and you're not available, then basically what they write their message and it'll send you an email and you can respond back when you are available. So but then the way the bots work is that you can set up answers to like frequently asked questions. So what I've seen a lot are where a person will ask a question and then it'll come back with a list of articles that they can read that might answer their question. So it'll be pre-designed, pre-set up questions and answers, that kind of thing. So, and then if none of those articles or none of the answers that are already pre-programmed into the bot will answer that person's question, then they can either leave you a message or that's when it'll ping you to answer them.
Cool. And this and the fan journey. I'm really interested in that you can automate and that you can, but that in your experience, that the human contact is the best thing. And do you think? Because I know that I have bought things from people after I've listened to their podcasts for about 3 months, or I've read their articles, or even if I've been on a course and they've been a guest or something like that, then that has inspired me to sort of like investigate them a bit more. So I think what I'm interested in is that how can you, when you meet someone new or come across someone new, either through your content, your website, or anything else, how do you, I suppose it's about knowing your customer, I guess, isn't it, or your target audience, and tailoring everything towards that. Have I just answered my own question?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a lot of it is is some people they will want to talk to you so that you can answer their specific question, but then a lot of people, like there's this podcast that I was listening to for a long time, and every time I listen to her podcast I keep thinking I really need to get into her program. She just sounds so fantastic, you know. And it's like I don't need to talk to her. I feel like I've been talking to her just by listening to her on her podcast. Because what this lady does on her podcast is she brings on people who are in her program and she will coach them on the podcast. And so you get a sense of her style, and you're hearing her answer questions that real people have. And so if you have those same questions, then you know how she's going to answer it, and you get a sense of kind of what she's like as a coach, so in that sense I was just like, I can just hit the buy button. I don't need to talk to her. I feel like I've been talking to her, so that's where that especially with podcasts, that nurturing really helps to it basically indoctrinates people to to who you are and what you're all about.
Yeah, I suppose it's a process, isn't it? And if anybody wants to ask any questions, please unmute and ask, put your hand up, either virtually or physically, because I am watching you. And I think I'm quite interested in actually putting that content out there, because there is a skill to that, isn't there? I mean, you work with artists who are obviously artists and creators, but there is something I think as sort of business owners we need to think about what we want out there. Have you got any sort of tips about that, Simone?
It's really about what you want people to get from you and what actions you want them to take. Like this lady that I've been listening to she's a coach. She's a coach for women. And so her podcast, most episodes of her podcast are her coaching women. And so she gives you a taste of her coaching in the podcast. And then her call to action is she will pre-qualify you in her call to action, right? So she'll say, okay, I've got this program. It's set up for those who are making 5 figures, and you can apply at this link. And then she'll have another program. This is for you ladies who are making 6 figures and want to go into multiple 6 figures, and you can apply at this link, so if you are not in either of those, one of those categories, you know where you fit, right? Mm-hmm. And you can qualify people based on who it is you want in your call to action, and you can do it in your content, right? In your content, Mm-hmm. What I do is for these people over here, for people who are like this, for people who are interested in this. And that is the topic I'm going to be talking about today on my podcast, that kind of thing. So you can qualify people right in your content. You don't even have to wait for the call to action.
Yeah, I really like that. And if anyone else has a question about that, because I think the customer journey, there is a link, isn't there, to who your ideal customer is, isn't it? So you have to make that journey ideal for your particular customer. I really like what you said about how you're honing your messages to that ideal customer and mm-hmm. action that you want them to take. So your ideal customer, if it's for a high-end ticket, it's for they're making 6 figures or something like that. Then exactly. And then you're saying those keywords, aren't you?
Yes.
And then you're getting sort of like resonation, if that is a word, that whatever you're saying is resonating with your ideal client, and that exactly. makes them more susceptible to sort of like being responsive to your offers, and also I suppose spending more time with you, because I think that's what
That's
we're
true too.
selling, isn't it? If it, as coaches, if that's what you're doing, you
Mhm.
are saying, yeah, this is a chance to spend more time with me. This is great. Whether that's a post or a podcast or a live or different methods of doing that. And I want to come back to that because you do lives and you do podcasts. I do podcasts, and maybe I'm missing a trick about being really specific about what I'm aiming for because I just do it because I like it. But is there, what would you say about being, really honing your content to what you want to achieve?
I guess it depends on who you want to listen to your podcast. Because like maybe your podcast is for a general audience, but the products that you have, your offers that you're making are for a particular audience, a different audience. I mean, it sounds like something that wouldn't work, but you never know. This is all about, a lot of this is just trial and error, really. It's like, try it. If it doesn't work, you can say, hey, I've been there, done that. Let me try this other thing, so you can do like, there are women who do podcasts, and the podcast, the information in the podcast works for everybody, really. But who do they work with? They only work with women. There's a lot of women business owners that are like that. So it's like the stuff that they talk about, all these dudes are out here like, man, I wish you work with men because what you've got is fantastic, because I would love it, but no, they don't work with men. So you're just going to have to be content with the podcast, I guess, you can make your podcast information general, but then in your call to action, this is who I work with. I work with people who are like this, or who believe this, or who want this, that kind of thing. It's really all up to you.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give people? Because I liked your model. I like the sort of like journey that the journey that the customer that goes on, and it has a beginning and a middle at the end. And that I think in the last slide it had repeat, and it is and that's part of the system, isn't it? Really. So
Yes.
do
Yeah.
you? So I haven't posted for a few days, a week. And I'm tired and I haven't posted for a week. Is it really important to be consistent? I'm sure it is, but I'm sort of.
It is important to be consistent. And just like I showed you with Philip Carter, this artist that I know, he's a gospel artist. You probably have never heard of him. He has his niche, right? He has his own fan base over here of a couple 100,000 people, and that's because he's been consistent, just showing up. And people know when they sign in and they show up on his broadcast, they know what to expect. They know what's going to happen. And because of that, he's grown his following. And he's not the only one. He's not the only example I could show. I didn't grab a screenshot of my friend David's, his profile on TikTok. He has over 600,000 followers on TikTok. And what does he do? He plays hymns, he sings, and he prays. That's what he does. He's not out here making funny videos. He's not out here doing cute dances or anything like that. I remember the other day, I was just scrolling through TikTok, and his post came up. Hey, stop, don't scroll. Let's have morning prayer. And he was out, it looked like he was outside running, and he just like took a break from his running to have prayer. And then he was like, okay, have a great day. Bye. And that was the end of the video, because that's what he's been doing consistently for several years now. He has garnered over 600,000 followers. And he didn't say only if you're a Christian. He didn't say only if you believe in prayer, only if you believe in the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. He didn't say any of that. He just said, stop, let's have prayer. So if you're interested in prayer, you want somebody to pray for you, that's it. And
That's really interesting, actually, because part of my experience is building a following on various social media platforms, but not selling anything, but building that, I suppose, know, like, and trust, but not offering anything. And I think there's definitely a role for that, isn't there? Sort of building that up without making an offer, because I know my philosophy, and which has worked, is that when you are ready to make an offer, people are more likely to go for it, because they know you, and you've just been putting out content. Have you got any
I
advice
have
for
a
people who,
caveat for that.
you have a caveat for that? Oh, please share.
I do. Because and my friend David is having trouble with this right now, right?
Hmm.
He's garnered all these followers, and it's not just on TikTok, but also on Instagram and YouTube. Um, he's been praying and singing and, playing all this time, never made an offer, really. So now when he does want to make an offer, people are slow to kind of pick up on it, because they're like, oh, wait, you're selling stuff? you know, they're not used to that. So what I tell artists is that when they are ready to, when they put out their album, because this is what artists do a lot, right? They're on social media, they're sharing everything under the sun, but people don't know that they're artists until they're ready to sell their album. They'll be, they're posting all this stuff on social media. In the meantime, secretly, they're in the studio working on, some great piece of music, right? And then when they're ready to release it, they, all of a sudden it's, hey, I've got a new project out, go buy it. And it's like, wait, what? you know, why should I be interested? I didn't know you sang what, so it's like, while you're putting out all this great content, interrupt it every now and then and say, hey, I'm offering this thing to you for sale, you know, and then go back to the free content, um, put some calls to actions in there. I don't like putting out, too much stuff without having some sort of call to action,
And the
you
call to
know,
action doesn't have to be buy my stuff. It could be
doesn't have to be.
check out my podcast. It can be um, directing people to another bit of content, can't it? But it's just
Yeah.
something that keeps you.
It could be comment on this post,
Yeah,
like this post,
yeah,
share it with a friend.
yeah.
It could be any of that. But if you do sell stuff,
Hmm.
let them know.
Yeah, cool, cool, cool. Jenny's got a hand up.
Thank you. I'm still toying. I am toying with the idea of the kind of doing social media ads in the not too distant future. I would like to do them to have people get to know me more. And I know that Facebook don't like you to take people off their platform. I get that. How would you position the reintroduction? I know you showed on your slides there was somebody that's kind of doing the getting to know you. What kind of things would you want to show to put behind an ad?
Well, one of the things that Rick Barker likes to do, and it's worked for me too, I've done it, is do a quick tutorial for the get to know you. You can say, hey, I'm Jenny Kovacs, and this is what I do. Let me show you real quick how to, get visibility in 3 easy steps, and you go boom, boom, boom. Would you like to know more? Click the button in this ad or something like that, and you can keep it real short and simple. And that's a nice, quick, organic looking video. It's not highly produced. It's not, you didn't do 15 costume changes. You don't have a lot of music in the background. It's just you talking to the people, right? And that's a really good introduction video. And then, like, for people who already know you, then for that call to action, you can ask them for to buy something a bit more expensive, because they're already a part of your world. Presumably they're already on your mailing list, or they've already they've been following you for a while, they've already purchased something small, you can offer them something a little bit more high ticket in an ad. Yeah. But like that introduction ad is great for getting that pipeline of new people just constantly coming.
And I'm just thinking, as you say that, I've done a few of them over the time, and I'm wondering if I go through and have a look, although I think it'd probably be longer for me to go back and have a look and repurpose them for an ad than it would be for me just to whip my camera out and do something. What do you think about the repurposing idea?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've got so much stuff. Honestly, I need to catalog it better so that I can find it quicker when I need it. So.
Yeah, I think repurposing is good because it helps you get moving faster because you're using something you already have.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And I think that tends to be our problem a lot, right? We have all these brilliant and wonderful ideas that stay ideas, and we don't actually use them.
That's true. That's true. I just want to give a shout out to Jacinth Ivy, because we were looking at Canva today, weren't we? Because they've got a cool new tool to be able to do quick videos. You just want to share that with us, Jacinth?
Yeah. So one of my projects over the next few weeks is to develop more digital products to put online. So in terms of, like you, Jenny, I have a wealth of resources and training and everything else that sits there. So I'm thinking about how I can monetize. So this notion of making residual income. And so, yeah, so I discovered that on Canva, actually, when you do your presentation on Canva, it allows you also to convert it into digital training. And so you can go through your presentations and your little photograph is in the corner and you can speak to it. So yes, it was just great kind of discovering that, but also then looking at and thinking about other platforms such as Teachables in terms of putting some of my stuff out there. So that's my challenge to myself over the next kind of 4 to 6 weeks, is to really dip into all of the resources that I have and repurpose it and actually put it out there to actually make money, residual money. Yes, instead of it just sitting and my hard drive doing nothing, I want to put it on a platform where actually it can sit and grow some money.
Absolutely.
That's a challenge. That's a challenge for you then in the group to when do you want to do that by, and put it in and maybe do a quick ad, Facebook ad, to lead people to some of that.
Yeah. With an ad, I think that's where I did my tripwire. I did an ad where I think I did a quick tutorial, and when they clicked the link, it took them to a 10-minute tutorial, and where I can't remember, they added their email address or something like that. But what I did was, like, after they added their email address, then on that thank you page, I had an upsell where they could get one of my courses for $9. And that one actually worked. It sold, and it's something that I could do without being there. The ad runs, they go to the link, everything is just kind of set up, boom, boom, boom. Oh, let me just buy this. They sign on to the website, and if your resources are there, you've already recorded it. You record it once and sell it 150, 3,000 times over,
Yeah, absolutely. Really love that. Really love that around repurposing, utilizing your resources, because we all do have them. We all have, stuff that we put on LinkedIn or wherever that we can repurpose and we can redo. And I was reading somewhere that I like Twitter, that Twitter's life is 20 minutes, and then you could put it out again, and nobody be any the wiser. Only the person that only that you put it out 20 minutes ago. So thought that was really, really interesting. We've come to the hour, and I just wanted to finish on. So I want you to do two things. I want you to do your call to action. Thank you so much, Simone, for this wonderful presentation. I really enjoyed it, and I've really, really learned a lot. I wanted you to talk about the 1,000 fan theory and the super fan theory very quickly, just before you go, and then I want you to do your call to action, what you want people to do as a result of this presentation.
Well, the 1,000 superfan, I'm not sure where that came from, but it's been making its way around the internet for years. But it goes like this: like, if you have 1,000 superfans, all paying you $100 a year, that's $100,000. That's $100,000 a year, and you can live on that, right? So what I see a lot of artists doing is that they'll have a couple of T-shirts, they'll be selling an album, and then that's pretty much it. Where a lot of them only will push that newest project. But if you have $100 worth of stuff that somebody can buy, and you only have 1,000 people, but and that's great for artists. But as a coach, you only need 100 people, and you sell them, something worth more that brings you to, it can bring you to 6 figures. So it's really kind of, or if you only have 10 customers and you're selling them something worth $1,000 a piece or something like that, you can make your 6 figures for the year. But the only way to do that is to keep stepping out there and keep making those offers and keep making the offers and stay in front of people's face and keep letting people see you and know who you are. So my call to action is, with this whole fan journey process, it does take some technical pieces to put in place, right? Whether you're doing email marketing or text marketing, or you want to spruce up your website, spruce up your social media platform. You need help copywriting content for your sales, for your social media, for whatever it is. If you need help with that kind of thing, I am here. I am here, and I'm willing to help. I'm not afraid of the tech. There are some new platforms and some things that I don't know yet, but I'm a software person, so learning software is not a problem for me. So if you are interested in having my help to help you to put all of these pieces into place and to make it flow so that you can do less work, then let me know. I am in the network, or you can set up a call with me at eshemusic.com/MMA, and I'm going to put that in.
That's brilliant. I will share that with people in the group, and this recording will be in the group. If you're not in the group, you will be on my email list, and I'll also be sharing that as well. Thank you so much, Simone. Fantastic presentation. Thank you to the people who are here. Thank you for the new people that are here as well. It's fantastic to see you here, and I will be in contact with you soon. Have a fabulous rest of the evening, and take care. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.